Hello again, Kingston Town Administrator Keith Hickey with the latest edition of This Week in Kingston for the week ending May 16th, 2025. Hope everybody's ready for Memorial Day. It's almost time. Summer's almost here. But before summer gets here, we have an important day on Saturday, May 17th. We have our local town election. Hoping people can take some time between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. to stop down at the Kingston Elementary School cafeteria and vote for selectmen, school committee members, planning board members, library trustees, sewer commissioners, school committee members, water commissioners, sewer commissioners. There's a wide range of positions that are up for re-election or election in general. So we do have some open positions, unfortunately, that are not being, there are no candidates for. So if you know somebody who may be interested in one of the positions that does not have a candidate running for the position and you want to write them in, you can certainly do that. But it is an important election, obviously. A lot of things going on still in town, and being able to have a say on what gets approved at planning and zoning boards, what gets approved and Board of Selectmen and Board of Assessors, and those types of things are critical moving forward. So your willingness to serve is very much appreciated. And if you can try to stop down and vote for those who are sacrificing some personal time to give to the town, that would be very much appreciated. Once we finish up with the elections on Saturday, the following Tuesday, the 20th of May, the Board of Selectmen is having a meeting. The first thing on their agenda is to reorganize the board, meaning that they're going to elect a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary for those positions. The selectmen will nominate members of the board that are sitting there. As I think everybody's aware, Tyler Bouchard, who has served on the Board of Selectmen now for the past 3 years, is stepping away. So we do have an open position. We have 2 candidates running for selectmen that you can choose one of on Saturday. That person will be in attendance Tuesday after being sworn in by the town clerk, and the board again will participate in that reorganization. Moving on from that, an important day or item to recognize. The week of the 12th through the 18th was National Police Week, so the Board of Selectmen will recognize the Kingston Police Department for that week and present the police department with a proclamation from the Board of Selectmen. I want to thank the police department for everything that they do in this community. Their role is becoming more and more challenging with all the different issues that they are dealing with. And very much appreciate the job that they do and the way they do it in this community. It's a fantastic police department led by a great command staff. Moving forward, we've got our planning director, is bringing forward 4 grant requests for the board to consider supporting. The grant request would be a $775,000 infrastructure joint application for the design and engineering work at Exit 20 with the town of Duxbury. The town has already contributed some money towards that intersection. This would be for some additional grant funds to help with the planning and construction of that. We have a brownfield redevelopment application to do a phase 1 and a phase 2 study for contamination on the old Maple Street fire station site. So that needs to be, if we're able to get those grant funds, we can identify what, if any, contamination is there and how it would need to be addressed. If we still own the property, the town has the ability to then apply for grant funds to remediate that site. So we're working towards that as well. We also have, lastly, a coastal resiliency grant design for the town wharf, the harbor master office. Not sure what that amount is going to be at this point, but with some of the changes in the tides, we are trying to be proactive and work to identify a more appropriate spot for the harbor master building and relocate that building on the same property. In all likelihood, we would reconstruct and build a new building, just to make sure I'm clear there. on a different part of the property. That's something that's going to be happening sometime in the future, but we're looking for some grant funding to do some design work on the harbor master office and the remainder of the parking lot that's down there. Once we finish up with those four grant application, well, and excuse me, let me back up. So our town planner is asking for the Board of Selectmen to endorse uh, those those four grant applications and send a letter off to those with those grants, signed by the chairman of the Board of Selectmen that supports the applications. We then have a request from the police department to spend $18,000 on opioid out of our opioid funds. Those funds will be used by the Plymouth County Outreach Center to assist individuals consistent with what the opioid settlement funds are for. The fire chief is making a request to the Board of Selectmen to allow him to carry over 3 weeks vacation time when only 1 week is allowed by his contract for to be used during fiscal 26, so sometime after July 1st. We then are going to move to discussing temporary filling the foreman position and potentially an equipment operator position at Streets, Trees, and Parks. As some of you may be aware, our current Streets, Trees, and Parks foreman, Sean Turner, has been doing a yeoman's job acting as the interim superintendent of Streets, Trees, and Parks, and has been that in serving that role now for several months. The Board of Selectmen brought forward to town meeting a proposal to create a public works department. That proposal failed. So at the June 4th board meeting, the board discussed whether or not to just retain a Streets, Trees, and Parks department or bring forward at some point in the future another proposal for a public works department. The board would like to move forward with a public works department proposal that will be considered either in the fall of this year or the annual town meeting in 2026, which would, and our interim superintendent, Sean Turner, is willing to fill that interim role for either up to 6 to 12 months. We would like to backfill the foreman position and in all likelihood an equipment operator position with some existing staff members who would fill those positions on an interim basis until the final decision is made on which direction that department's going. So we expect the foreman position to be filled by a current equipment operator. We'll advertise that position internally and interview candidates and choose the individual who has the most experience and capabilities. And then in all likelihood, we'll have to then backfill the equipment operator position with a laborer. We have a new common victual license for Blended Berry, which is going to be up on Main Street, which is going to be great. Summer Street. We have a couple of items from our treasurer, a bond anticipation note for the design of the new well for the water department. That was approved. That $1 million was approved at the annual town meeting this year. So the treasurer is working on the financing pieces of that and is bringing those forward to the Board of Selectmen for their approval. Next, we have a request from the Agricultural Commission to use the town gazebo behind the townhouse to allow people to drop off fresh produce and allow people to pick up that fresh produce who aren't able to grow it themselves. It was started last year. It was pretty successful. The Agricultural Commission did a great job at monitoring the produce that was out there. And we urge anybody who would like some fresh produce a little bit later on this year to stop by the townhouse, behind the townhouse, in the gazebo, and go in and take what you and your family could use for fruits and vegetables. It's a great program, and appreciate the Agricultural Commission for their continued willingness to do that. Last couple of things we have is we have a one-day liquor license for 42nd Brewery for a one-day license at the Gears and Beers at Jones Street Storage Parking Lot, 26 Wapping Road for the 7th of June. We're looking to set the special town meeting date for October 28th, Tuesday night, October 28th. Not sure what's going to be on the warrant, other than a request by the school department to fund, to request funding to replace the roof on the Kingston Elementary School. The school department has received state funding for just over 53% of the cost of that. But the town would need to go and go to a special town meeting and vote to appropriate the funds for the Kingston share of that. We have a number of donations that the town board of selectmen will be considering to adopt and approve. We have seasonal employees of the recreation department. Summer camp is starting from the near future. Our recreation director is bringing forward about 15 people who are looking to be hired for to run the summer camp, and so the board will take action on those. The Board of Selectmen has to discuss my annual evaluation. They've finished that up recently, and they bring that forward at a public meeting to discuss the evaluation. And there is a clause in my contract that provides up to a $3,000 bonus. The board has to decide whether they're going to provide some of that $3,000 bonus, if I've earned that or not, and they'll make those decisions on if so and how much. And then Troop 49, the Boy Scout Troop is looking for some grant money from the William Willis Charity Fund to allow for the funding of two campers to attend summer camp, the Boy Scout summer camp. So the Board of Selectmen have the responsibility of authorizing that. They'll, I'm sure, be supportive of allowing those grants. As I think everybody's aware, and we'll start advertising this more openly, I guess, in the very near future. As I think everybody's aware, the Board of Selectmen approved amending the townhouse hours. So the townhouse will be open Monday through Thursday. It will be closed all day Friday rather than just a half a day. We'll be open a little bit later in the afternoons every day until 5 o'clock rather than 4:30. They initially approved it at my request to start July 1st. July 1st is a Tuesday, so I'm asking the board to consider having those summer hours start on a Monday, June 30th. We're going to have now for a while anyways, an agenda item to update the establishing a public works department. So it's on the agenda every couple of weeks to allow the Board of Selectmen to discuss any new items that may be coming up. Oftentimes that item will probably be bypassed because there's nothing new to discuss. But there was a request at the last meeting to have that on every agenda moving forward, so we could, it could be discussed. No decisions made, but discuss some things that might have come up or ideas that the committee should be considering. Lastly, we have an approval of the Silver Lake parcel. It was a parcel that was approved to be donated to the town of Kingston from the Silver Lake School District as part of a drainage project or a stormwater improvement project. We had already voted on this in the past, but the wording of the motion needs to be specific for the transfer to be legal. So we're going to go back and modify the motion to that land transfer to the town of Kingston. With that, we finishing up our meeting. We have another meeting on June 4th. And I guess I would like to just make people aware anyways that this past week, a Silver Lake Regional Study Committee had its first meeting. That group made up of selectmen from the towns of Kingston, Halifax, and Plimpton. FinCom members from the same communities. School committee members from those three communities, the superintendent of schools, the three town administrators, the business administrator from Silver Lake, and a Silver Lake school committee member will be meeting to discuss and ultimately hire an outside organization to assist with the scope and study of regionalizing the entire school district from kindergarten right through 12. It'll be a proposal that we brought forward at some point if not at next spring's town meeting, potentially the fall town meeting of 2026. That will identify the good, bad, and ugly of potentially regionalizing the entire school district. It's not meant to sway a community or a taxpayer one way or another. It's objective. It'll be factual information with no bias, and everybody who has the time to come in and vote will have the opportunity to do so and decide whether or not they think regionalizing the entire district is the right thing for Kingston or not. Um, it's an opportunity to potentially save money, but there is obviously a cost of doing that, which is losing some of your autonomy of having a local school district. So everybody's going to have a different opinion on that. I think we all need to respect each other on what the opinions those are, but we'll provide a very thorough report sometime in the next year or so that will assist you in preparing yourself to decide whether or not you think it's worthwhile to regionalize the district or not. Those meetings are open to the public. They are live on Zoom, and they're rebroadcast on Zoom as well. So if you haven't had a chance to see that riveting meeting, you can certainly do that. And we'll have those meetings at least at the beginning every couple of weeks. We'll bounce around a bit depending on the availability of people, summer schedules, things of that nature. But it will be advertised on our website, and it will be on Zoom live and rebroadcast. So if people want to keep up with what's happening, you can do that either in person live from your living room or watching it later on after the meeting's over. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. Hope everybody has a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week. Thank you.